Hello everyone, thank you for joining and welcome to another SysKit webinar. Today we're going to talk about advanced features for PowerShell users. And that includes PowerShell alerts, CRED SSP authentication, and various scripts we have for you in our PowerShell repository. But first, a short introduction. So my name is Silvio and I'm a product marketing manager at Acceleratio. Here with me we have Frane, the SysKit product owner, who will be answering your questions at the end of this webinar. You can say hello to our guest, Frane.
Hello guys, how are you?
Okay, Acceleratio is a software development company based in Croatia, and we specialize in creating enterprise solutions for platforms like SQL, SharePoint, Windows Server, Citrix, and others alike. Now, we currently have over 2,500 clients from more than 70 countries across the globe. Many of these clients are large-scale companies such as Intel, Coca-Cola, Rolex. You can probably recognize like all logos from these slides. At the moment, we have 4 products, and I'm going to show them to you. So we have SysKit, the server monitoring and administration tool, SPDocket used for SharePoint documentation and management, CloudKit 365, the reporting tool for Office 365, and SQL Docket, the auto-discover and documentation tool for SQL Server. Now, if you'd like to know more about any of these products, just check our company webpage, or, well, even easier, contact our sales team, and they can provide you with all the information you need. So let's go through the webinar agenda. I will first explain a few housekeeping rules and how you can ask your questions using the GoToWebinar application. After that, we'll do a short SysKit overview followed by the short overview of today's topic. After that, we'll have a demo where I will present the advanced features for PowerShell users that our tool offers. Of course, at the end, we have Q&A session, and there Frane will be answering your questions. To start with the housekeeping rules, really quick, you can ask your questions during the entire webinar, and some of them will be answered publicly at the end. A recording of the webinar will be available online tomorrow, and in about a week you can expect the webinar summary to be published, and it will contain all webinar questions answered. So speaking of questions, if you want to ask a question using the GoToWebinar application, all you need to do is open the question chat box and type them in there. All your questions will be answered by our product team, and you will find all the answers in our webinar summary. So let me just shortly explain the SysKit for those who are new here. SysKit is a server monitoring and administration tool designed to help system admins and consultants in their daily tasks. With SysKit, you can monitor user activity, application usage, server performance. You can track server inventory. You can generate documentation. You can basically audit and monitor everything happening on your servers. SysKit also enables you to simplify remote server management and environment documentation. And it does that with the help of PowerShell, which is, well, our main topic today. Another important fact is that SysKit is an agentless tool, meaning you can monitor and manage all your servers from one central console. So we have some more details about SysKit. All reports can be exported to PDF or Excel for better presentation values. You can, of course, set intelligent alerts, and they will notify you whenever something unusual happens on your servers. It is also important to pinpoint the performance monitoring feature, which enables you to track all existing performance counters. So SharePoint, SQL, Citrix, all of those counters are here. And you can track them in real time and historically. And, well, now finally we get to today's topic, well, or topics, however you want to call it. Now, for starters, Combining PowerShell with SysKit is somewhat of a new feature. It's been around for a couple of months and it already induced lots of interest. Well, since knowing its potential and by listening to your ideas, we practically dedicated the latest SysKit release to the possibilities SysKit offers for PowerShell users. Actually, not just PowerShell users, for all system admins, since PowerShell is the future and everyone who will be getting on that train sooner or later. So first of all, we have provided you with the access to our PowerShell repository through the SysKit interface, making it much easier to import, manage, and use multiple PowerShell scripts. Now, this repository consists of scripts created for common system administration tasks, and they're all sorted in specific groups, all modules such as Active Directory, IIS, Windows website monitoring, and so on. Now, we currently have over 50 PowerShell scripts in our repository, and we plan on updating it. So we will be adding scripts that we believe are going to make system admin's life a lot easier. All of the scripts are free tested and free for download and use, and you can easily modify many of them to fit your specific needs. All of the scripts are available on our website, in our GitHub repository, and as already mentioned, through the SysKit application interface. I'll show you all that during our demo. I'm just mentioning it now. Also, I'd like to point out that we can create specific scripts for our customers completely off charge. All you need to do is contact us with your problem and specific requirements, and we'll try to make sure to create the script for you. To talk about the PowerShell alerts, some of you know, but some of you probably don't, that SysKit supports real-time alerts for various events on your servers. So, for example, like when your SQL Server disk space nears its limit, SysKit will alert you before the database stops working. Or if any critical service stops, SysKit will send you an alert and try to restart the service. You can set up SysKit to alert you in case any performance counter is off the chart, in case there is increased or unsafe user activity, license issues, and so on. But those alerts are actually not as specific as PowerShell reporting may sometimes require. So we have created the PowerShell alerts. For each PowerShell command you intend to execute on servers, you can configure alerts to be sent if any specified output is returned when the PowerShell is executed. So that returned trigger that will trigger the alert can be a specific status code, URL, any string in the data. So, for example, you can create a script that pings SharePoint site load time and availability every 5 minutes, and SysKit will alert you if one of those values indicates that there is something wrong with the SharePoint site. This is the exact same use that I will show you later in the demo. And as our last PowerShell experience enhancement, we have the CRED SSP, or Credential Security Service Provider. As we all know, PowerShell allows you to remotely execute commands on remote computers and servers. And the problem occurring is that for some tasks done remotely, you need authentication. So CRED SSP enables you to pass credentials to the target device and have that device use them for a double hop remote authentication. Let me try to explain it more simple. So you have server A, and it connects to the server B, and then the server B performs actions against server C using the given credentials. So actually, server A was the one that gave controlled this server C. It can be, for example, well, you have a server in untrusted domain connecting to a main server in other targeted domain. And then when he connected, he can issue commands inside all of that targeted domain. Create SSP is, well, necessary if your SharePoint needs to get specific data from the database, or you need to read data from the domain controller. There are probably many cases of use for that feature. So I think I've covered it all. Let us go to the demo. Let me just switch to my demo environment, and then we can get started. Okay, so here it is, our demo environment, and now I'm going to guide you through all the PowerShell features that I presented earlier. So as already mentioned, PowerShell is sort of a novelty in SysKit, and by knowing its potential, we're trying to draw you towards using it even more, and for those who haven't embraced it yet, to start using it. So first, let's talk about our PowerShell repository. It contains a large number of scripts that are created to help you deal with daily administration tasks and even some more complex problems. Now, we strongly believe that this repository can save hours and hours of work to any system admin. The repository can be reached in 3 ways. So the basic one is, well, actually through our website, where you can download groups of scripts and locally important to SysKit. We have our GitHub repository, as you can see it here, and here all the scripts are in PS1 format, and you can easily edit them and use them for whatever purpose you need them. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward and simple. And lastly, and well, the most conveniently, you can use the SysKit interface to import scripts from our repository that is on Microsoft Azure. Now, I'm going to show you just that. We simply click on Download Scripts button, and the dialog offers you 3 tabs. The first tab lists all the entire online repository, and here you can select any script or even multiple scripts and install them. So for each script you have the basic information, description, version number, date published, and what you're gonna do now is simply download this all client computers and all domain admins scripts. Okay, so after we imported the scripts, we can simply manage them. The newly downloaded scripts are marked with the little green arrow, and for each of that scripts we can set the time and occurrence of execution, alert conditions, and on which computers we want them executed. I'll show you all of that settings later when I will be configuring a PowerShell report. So on the second tab, we see all the scripts we already have installed in SysKit. And the third one will show you the available updates we decide to make for a certain script. So let's say, for example, this script version is 1.0, but if we decide that this script can be better and more optimized, we'll push the 1.1 version, which will then be shown in the Updates tab. Now, I should mention that this similar system of downloading from within the application works also for our performance templates. As you can see here, we can select again every template and simply install it to our computer. Now to explain this monitoring templates for those who doesn't know, SysKit provides you all with role-specific templates that you can apply on your servers, on server groups, and they monitor all critical services and specific performance counters for that server role. If you wish to learn more about server performance monitoring, just check out our webpage. There's plenty of material. And the same dialog and the same download form works for downloading custom reports. As you can see here, again, pretty big repository. And the custom reports are the reports with customized fields and conditions that were created specifically for some of our clients, but we hope some of them, of course, can be used by, again, other specific clients. Okay, so now that we're finished with downloading dialogues, I can show you the PowerShell alerts and how they actually work. So imagine this, well, simple use case. You have a few active websites and you need to make sure they are available 24/7. They always work. So you need something that will constantly test them and warn you if there's something wrong. Well, what a convenience. I have something just for that. Here I have installed the website monitoring script that pings whichever site I configure and reports on its status. So you can see that script pings the selected sites every 5 minutes and reports with time taken to load, response length, and the status code the page returns. Now this status code is very important because, well, some of you maybe know this, but 200 is the only status code that says everything's okay, everything's great. Any other status code, like, well, we all know 404 status code, says that something is probably wrong and should be, checked some more. Now, this report is also easily editable. If we go and edit, we can see that you can set any web page. So whatever your needs are, you don't have to know actually PowerShell. Just go in and check the URL and put your own URL wherever you want it. So I have one very similar, but maybe a more usable example on which to show you how you can use PowerShell alerts and for SharePoint monitoring. Let's say you need to track the status of your SharePoint sites and again report if there's anything wrong. So what I'm going to do is, well, this time I'm going to import the PowerShell script locally, since we can do that with SysKit also. I'm going to put it in the SharePoint category. Okay, import it, and we can see the script here. And now all I got to do is, well, set it up. So we have name, we have category. We can see the script here. It has the description. It says what you need to do to modify it. And I'm gonna test the script against the local server I'm working on. Okay. And here I have some, well, preliminary results. I can select this script to run only on this local server since there's no need to run it anywhere else. And I want this script to run, well, more times since we are monitoring SharePoint sites, and I would like it to ping every 5 minutes our SharePoint sites. Okay, and if there's something wrong, of course I want to know about that, so I'll just configure the alert to be sent. And let's say that we are interested in the time taken to load, and we set the condition that everything bigger than 15 seconds will send us an alert. But not just like that, it will not be sent immediately. I want to make sure that there's actually something wrong and it's not just like a quick glitch. So I will select the state to remain unchanged for more than 15 minutes. That means that 3 times the script have to be executed, and each time it has to return the triggered data to send me an alert. So I will set any alert. Sorry. Okay, and it is all set. So all we have to do now is run the script, and our dialog here confirms that it will be, well, soon executed. And we can check the status bar here, and it shows us all current system jobs and all PowerShell scripts running or waiting to be executed. Now, the expected result will be similar to the one in website monitoring, since the scripts are pretty much the same, only for a bit different use. And script is still waiting to be run, probably. I will show you the results a bit later. So we have another very good PowerShell report for the SharePoint sites, and it is this one. And it also largely benefits from PowerShell alerts. Now, this script measures the total load time of a certain SharePoint site. So this script, what this script actually does is starts Internet Explorer in the background and measures the time it took for the site to respond and to fully load. Now, that means fully load means everything: images, Java, all. And of course, you can set SysKit to send you alert if, well, for example, page loads are longer than 50 seconds. So this is something that is very useful and a common problem for SharePoint admins. As we can see, our script here is done. Everything seems okay. Otherwise, we would, well, see the alert, and we will have the other color of the field when the alert is triggered. So we're going to stay with the SharePoint alerts here to show you why do you actually need CreateSSP. So I've already mentioned that CreateSSP enables you to pass credentials onto remote servers. But when would you actually use it? Well, the great example is this script that we have here. Okay, it measures the total crawl time for SharePoint search index, number of recorded indexes, and all errors that might show up during the crawl. Now, for this script, I'm going to show you in more detail here. As you can see, now for this script, the SharePoint requires the double hop authentication, and it needs to pass its credentials from SharePoint to SQL. So what we need to do, it's already done here, is checkbox the CreateSSP, and we can simply test the script on SP1 server. When we have the site, we have the preliminary results here, and we proceed with setting up the script running only on that server. And this is something we would probably want to check, I don't know, like once a day, or even, I don't know, weekly. So we select every Monday. And what we want to receive is an alert if an indexing lasts more than 30 minutes. So we set up that. And this time we want the alert to be sent immediately, since there's no point in waiting for, I don't know, script to be executed more times to be sure that indexing is, well, definitely taking too long. As we can see, we have the yellow row here, and it marks the PowerShell execution that triggered alert at a certain point in time. I'm sorry. So you can track all alerts historically, and you can see everything that went wrong. So this sort of marking will appear or on any script that we are spinning, but we didn't have any bad data and any alerts triggered in our other scripts. So these are all features that can greatly help anyone who uses PowerShell for system administration tasks, and I really urge you to go ahead and try it out. This would be all for today's demo, and we should get to our questions. Okay, so if you'd like to arrange a one-on-one demo, feel free to contact our sales team at sales@accelratio.net. And now we're going to read and answer a couple of interesting questions from the audience. Just to remind you, all the questions that we don't answer now will be answered in our webinar summary. Can we start with the questions, Rane?
Yes, we can start with the questions. You can leave the presenter mode on you. As I see, I probably will not need remote desktop connection, but we will see. Okay, so the first question is how is this licensed? So basically, the question is, I believe, do I need to license only the server where we have the SysKit is installed, or we need to license the remote servers as well? So basically, for example, so your demos were here with the SharePoint farm. In the SharePoint farm, if you have multiple roles like web frontends, app servers, SQL servers, or something like that, you need only one license, because all these APIs that, for example, you in your demo mentioned are available only, let's say, from the single web frontend server. So if you want to query the full page load that you showed us with the IE, you need to ping only the IE server, the web frontend server. So in this environment, you need only one license. Of course, if you have multiple farms, then you can license only one server per farm if you want to execute this kind of PowerShell stuff. For example, the enterprise search feature that you, Silvio, demoed is so it really depends if you have the search as a part of the farm or in the dedicated farm, but basically if you want to query the data that is in the search farm, then you need one license for that server as well. Okay, let's continue with the questions. Do I need a license for SysKit, or I can use it with SPDocket? So our company has another tool for those who don't know. So we have a tool, SPDocket, that is basically used to maintain and document the SharePoint environments. So unfortunately, at the moment, SPDocket does not support this feature, but we'll look into it in the future. So for now, you need to purchase the license for the SysKit in order to use this feature. Okay, so can I load the SQL Server settings through the PowerShell? Yes. So Silvio, you just mentioned few examples with the SharePoint. I see we have some questions regarding the Citrix PowerShell. So, for example, everything that is exposed through the PowerShell can be loaded into the SysKit. So, for example, SQL stuff, Citrix stuff. So, for example, you want to inventory in the Citrix all your published applications. you have a list. We can write you a script, that PowerShell script, that will basically inventor. It will ping the Citrix farm to get all the published applications, and then if anything changes on that particular on any particular application, so for example, if you change the name, if you change the path, if you change the users who have access to the application, when we make a new snapshot, the SysKit will be able to recognize the change, and even you can be alerted automatically. So for example, SysKit is able to detect the change from previous snapshot as well. So if you want to use the application to do something like that, you can use it as well. The another question is, can we use this to basically ping the remote applications on the Microsoft environment? Yes, I believe there is some kind of a PowerShell exposure there as well. So basically, yes, you can use it. But please, if you have specific environment, contact us with your requirement, and our consultants will get in touch with you, so we can understand what exactly you are trying to do. So we will check the PowerShell exposure, and we will help you to create scripts for your environment. Okay, we have, so Silvio, Eric mentioned that you had a really nice demo, so that is not a question. So thank you for that.
Okay, thank you, Eric.
And I believe that we covered most of the important questions that we have here. So Silvio, you can take over.
Okay, well, will not be long. So this brings us to the end of the Q&A session, and with it to the end of our webinar. Thank you all for joining us today, and if you have any questions, please contact us at support@acceleratio.net. I wish you a good day, and I'll see you soon in another one of our webinars. Thank you again. Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.